At every stage, when African Guyanese have been murdered under the PPP, they use the Guyana police force to cover it up. Or they use the Guyana police force to quell and put down dissent. And that's
Yes.
why there's so much anger in the
But let me
country
ask you, has
with
it
them.
been proven that they were East Indians who killed these Henry boys?
But yeah, we know who killed them.
Okay.
They've just never charged. They're PPP supporters. As a matter of fact, one of the young men allegedly involved went and shot up the Henry home, and the
Yes,
police did nothing.
I remember reading that they terrorized the families,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
one of the
And they
reasons.
own, one of them owned a big business in Guyana called Jumbo Jet something, auto sales. One of them who went and shot up the Henry family's home allegedly is somebody connected to Jumbo Jet. Nothing has ever happened. No, I can't say for sure that Jumbo Jet, this person connected to Jumbo Jet, actually was a perpetrator in the slaughter murder of these men. I
Mhm.
know for sure that the family told me, the mother told me that someone connected to Jumbo Jet, the son or somebody, drove by her home and fired shots at it. Nothing happened to them because these are all people who finance the PPP.
This is sad, and anybody who is watching, you're not from Guyana. I'm going to ask you to research, go and search about the Henry boys, and you will see how those boys died, and it's really, really sad. And someone said in the comment section that you're always talking about race, but if you listened carefully to what Rickford was saying, he was saying what is needed is an acknowledgement. It's an acknowledgement that this has been done. And I think for most black people, or most people who've been hurt, if there could just be an acknowledgement that this has happened, and we are going to move forward, we're going to take the country forward, instead of throwing some plaster on it, giving the people some money, or whatever it is that you do. And this happens to black people all the time. A lot of time, just say, listen, this is what happened. We recognize it. We want to build a better Guyana, because you need each other in order to do that. Well, I went to cut my hair at a barber here, and there's a Guyanese guy, and a wonderful guy, and I won't call his name. And he started to talk to me about Guyana and about elections, and I was surprised because he's a young man. And you know what he said? He's a black guy, young black Guyanese guy, and he says, ma'am, for the first time, I'm excited about politics. I said, really? That's interesting. He said, I'm here in Barbados, but I'm excited because, of Mr. Mohammed. I said, Mr. Mohammed? He says, yes. I said, you mean the man that was sanctioned by the U.S.? You mean that East Indian man? He says yes, because, and his reason for it, Rick, for being excited, Rick Ford, is that he believes that this man is bringing unity, uniting the races. He says, I am tired of the fighting among the races, and I believe that Mr. Muhammad, is going to bring the races together. But then I also said to him, but I don't understand, why would you guys be following that man? Doesn't he? I mean, isn't he sanctioned for all of these terrible things? The alleged gold smuggling and all these kinds of bad things. He's wanted. He's like what they're considered. He's wanted by the U.S. Why are these people running behind him? And why both black, East Indian, and also the other, not Carib, what do you call them? The other one, the other
The
races.
Amerindians, the
The
indigenous.
the indigenous people. Listen, they all love this man. What's going on with this man that is accused and wanted by the government of the USA? What's going on?
Well, first of all, I think what we are seeing is a phenomenon that we've not seen before in Guyanese politics. That's number one.
Mm,
And I think there's several factors that contribute to that. One, this guy is very rich. Um, he is an icon in the country. Young people like him because I think he has not hidden his wealth. He
mm,
is, gone across the country and built a couple of homes and so on for people. And and help people with wheelchairs and so on. He's done some humanitarian or philanthropic work. But in addition to that, people see him and they see him with his Gucci glasses and his $5,000 shirts and shoes and so on and say, he can make me just like him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a businessman. He's a successful businessman. And if I follow him and he comes into government, I can be just like him. He is going to empower me to become wealthy like him. I think that's part of the concept. And then there's a celebrity that goes with that. People follow celebrities. But my problem with Mr. Mohammed, and I posed several questions to him, and it's the same thing I'm talking about the PPP. Mr. Mohammed came out of the PPP.
Okay.
Everybody who has been sanctioned by the United States government for crimes committed in the United States is from the PPP.
So when you
Several
said
of
he
them now.
come out of the PPP, was he part of the government?
He wasn't part of the government, but his family literally financed the PPP for decades. As a matter of fact, I think there is some acknowledgement by the family that they gave the PPP $100 million for the 2020 election campaign. Not only that, the president now, throughout the campaign
Yeah.
and on the day of his inauguration, used his armored vehicle, right? When this sanction issue came up, he released a WhatsApp conversation with the president where he was telling the president that GRA, which is the revenue authority, was giving him a hard time with the taxes.
Yeah.
And the president asked him, based on the conversation he released, how much is the taxes? He said 50 million. The president said, that's too much, pay 25. So the president, and then Mr. Mohammed himself accused the president of being complicit with whatever they were accusing him of. But he came out of the PPP. There are all sort of allegations about the PPP financing people's murder, financing death squads that kill people. He has never said that I regret that I never spoke out
Mm.
about the things he's speaking out about them now. He was a part of them. He supported them. He financed them. He has never acknowledged that what he was following with them was possibly wrong.
Mm.
The other thing that with Mr. Mohammed is if he had not been sanctioned, if he had not fallen out of favor
Mm-hmm.
with the PPP, he would be right there campaigning against the APNU right now. So again, I'm not sure that the people of Guyana fully grasp the fact that he is a product of the PPP. Now, people can change. I'm not saying that he's not genuine or whatever it is, but I question why now and why hasn't he completely distanced himself from the PPP and repudiate what the PPP stands for: discrimination, corruption, and racism. He has not done that. He has criticized them. He has called for justice for Adriana Young and some other people.
Mm-hmm.
He was allegedly financing the PPP while they were slaughtering Black people. So until, to me, he completely and fully repudiates the PPP and what they have done to the people of African descent in Guyana, I don't see him as quite genuine.
But
Now, I welcome the fact that he's challenging the PPP
mm-hmm.
because I'm against the PPP and I think they need to be uprooted. But I don't think that he has gone far enough in his repudiation of the PPP.
Yeah. And I totally understand what you're saying, and I so thank you for bringing context because I was at our march in town. I saw a black guy, and I suspect he was Guyanese, and he had on a wind shirt right here in Barbados. A lot of young people, so far, but from what I've seen, at least men, they seem to be supporting the Win party, which is why I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask you something. I watch some videos of Mr. Mohammed, who is sanctioned and wanted. I'm using deliberately using that term so people understand the seriousness of his situation. And but I saw him, giving handing out new homes to black people as well, a black family. I mean, I cried watching it. I was so overcome because of the story of that black family. And so I see him giving homes. I've seen him giving homes to Amerindians and to blacks as well. I really haven't seen any with East Indians because probably I just haven't seen it. But it's very touching what he's doing. Do you think those kinds of actions of him giving a home or helping somebody with school, is that saying that, listen, I am probably sorry for my association with the PPP in the past?
Well, he's been doing that before he was sanctioned, right? The family has been
Oh,
doing
okay.
lots
So
of
he's been doing this a long
humanitarian
time.
work, right?
Oh, I didn't
Um,
know. I didn't. I had no idea.
he has denied the sanctions, and that's a different issue. We believe in constitutional rights. We in CGID and all of us should not convict anybody until they face a court of law and have an opportunity to defend themselves and um, judged by a jury against what the allegations are and found guilty, and then we can condemn them. So I'm not going to go there.
Hmm.
My contention is that had it not been for the fact that he fell out with the PPP, he would not have been speaking out against them, and that bothered me. That bothers me deeply. It's very worrisome to me that now that you are out and you are witnessing the hand of discrimination
Hmm.
that many political opponents of the government, the PPP, face for decades, and that they perpetrated against Afro-Guyanese, Amerindians, and some East Indians who don't support them. He was aware of that.
Hmm.
And as somebody of alleged principle that he's now um, uh, putting forward to the country, why
Hmm.
hasn't he ever spoken out about it? Why didn't he? Well, for most of the time when their squads were operating, he was a child. But from the time he became an adult, there were several people who were killed by the government, killed by the PPP, several acts of discrimination, them coming into the diaspora, attacking people and so on. He never spoke out against it. I
Hmm.
want to know why. I wanted explanation. The people of Guyana deserve an explanation, and he has never given one.
Yeah.
And so I think that could be hampering some support. But like I said, it's a phenomenon. And the Win Party has the potential of creating a unity among all the races that before has not been seen. We
Wow.
must acknowledge that.
Let's pause and think about that, everybody. What you just said, and that is what I am seeing as I keep watching it. I'm seeing there. This is a potential here. That's deep. What you just said, of uniting Amerindians, blacks, and East Indians. Wow, wow. Apart
And
from,
I think
mhm, go ahead.
um, I think some of the reasons are the other two parties are stuck in the past, right? The old tactics, the old way of campaigning, the old dictatorial, well, not in terms of the APNU, but for the PPP, this
Hmm.
dictatorship where we can tell you what to do.
Right.
Um, the means of communicating, the methods of communicating,
Uh
the
huh.
methods of campaigning. Outside of his celebrity, outside of his humanitarian work, they're changing the game in terms of how they communicate.
Talk
I've
to me.
seen this
How is that?
party.
Because that's a question I was going to ask you. What is causing this change? Because that's earth shifting in Guyana of all these races coming together. There's something that is shifting. What is causing it apart from the money, unless it's all the money? Tell me about the strategy.
Well, it has a lot to do with the money because he's giving people money. He's also on the government is doing it. He's doing it on the campaign trail. They're giving people who come to these
Like,
rallies. They're giving them incentives. They're giving money. They're giving hampers and stuff like that. But outside of that, they're campaigning on the ground. They're also using social media, primarily social media.
mm.
And I think that's the game changer right there. They're excellent with social media.
But
Also,
the PPP is using social media.
as
What
well,
is
yeah, but I think Win is beating them at the social media.
okay? Okay.
Um, the social and also the PPP is unpopular among some East Indians.
Mm-hmm.
The corruption, the corruption, and this is one of the things that I'm talking about. Mohammed has never condemned the PPP for corruption, even when he was when he was with them, and he knows that. So why now? But let me go on to what I'm saying. Part
Mm-hmm.
of the other aspect of his campaign is the logistics. His logistics is on point. He has the
Mm.
ability to bring out all of these people from the riverine areas, coordinate the boats. He's banned the government has pressured every airline not to fly him and his party members. So they can't fly. Yes, they can't use any commercial airplane in Guyana. So they have to take boats, and they do it. They get, if they don't take boats, they drive. They get all to the Brazilian border driving. They get to the Venezuelan border by boats. They do it. And for me, it's good for democracy. We can't leave those people behind. And that is what has been happening for the longest while under this government. Now imagine this is 2025 and you can't jump on a bus or something and drive the Brazilian border. No, you got to go through some trails and some roads that look like a canal. I saw one of the APNU candidates, Sherrod Duncan. He was standing in a hole in the road that was waist deep. Somebody was saying, why the hell is he in there? He's going to get an infection. Waist deep. So these people have been in there for 5 years. Prior to that, they were in there for 23 years. So 28 of the last 34 years in Guyana, the PPP has been in power. And up to now, we can't get a good road to drive, a bridge to drive across. So I'm not sure. And listen, the government withdrew close to $6 billion US from the Sovereign Wealth Fund, Natural Resources Fund. They, when last I calculated, all of the projects, the road, the new Demerara Harbor Bridge, came up to less than 1.5 billion US. Where is the rest of the money?
Mm.
Where is the money?
Wow,
Um,
this sounds like what we're asking in Barbados as well. But back to, I'm very curious about this man's what he's doing, because you're telling me that they banned him from all commercial flights, and so what he's doing, he is going by river. The man taking boats and going to these Amerindians. I've seen Guyanese saying that some of these places he's going to, they've never heard of it in their lives, and he's going out there to talk to the people. And when he gets there, they bring out all the cultural all the the what do you call it,
the
whether
cultural garb and the cultural
the
celebrations,
music,
and yeah,
yes, celebrations is the word I'm
they
using.
normally do that with visitors
Ah,
to
okay.
their settlements and missions. Yeah,
Oh, wow. So do they normally vote? These are Amerindians, or
yeah,
they normally
yeah,
vote?
yeah. They vote.
Wow. And
They vote.
you think that they're being polite with him, seeing that is something that they do normally for voters? I mean, for visitors, is it that they're being polite? Because
No,
I must admit,
I've never seen them mobilize like this. I've never seen them mobilize like this. And we have to commend the Win Party. They can mobilize. They can mobilize. Um, you're right. Some of these places I've never heard of, and I'm from that region. I'm from Essequibo.
mhm.
Um, uh, but he's a miner. All of these places have um, mining lands. And so his family has been in mining for 40 something years.
Right.
So they know these areas. In addition to that, I think there is something happening in the Amerindian community where they feel that they have been left out of development of the country for so long.
Yes.
They've been left out of the discussion in the country for so long. They've been left out of um, our reforms for so long. They have been left out of the development and modernization plan for the country. And now they probably find somebody, apparently, that they can trust who is going to them in and not probably lecturing to them, but probably listening to them, and promising to incorporate whatever their concerns are and their suggestions and recommendations are for the upliftment of their lives and their communities into the national development plan. And so again, it seems to me too is how they're communicating, and so we see Amerindians gravitating to him, and in to meet the largest amongst in terms
Mhm.
of historic participation. I've never seen
Wow.
this level of participation in the political process in the elections from the Amerindian slash indigenous community.
Wow. So as somebody saying is asking here, if WIN is a product of PPP, somebody from Barbados is asking, will they not cut PPP votes? Don't you think?
Well, I'm not sure if Win is a product of the PPP, but Azuddin Mohammed
As
came
in,
out of the PPP.
yes.
Now,
Hmm.
Win is made up of lots of other people. Some of the leading people from Win are from APNU,
Oh
and
wow.
there are at least there are at least three members of parliament from APNU in Win, and they are some AFC former AFC people who've joined him. The the deputy, regional vice chairman for Region 7, which you would call a state, like
Hmm.
the lieutenant governor of a state in the United States. That's Region 10, which is the Linden region, which houses the um, second largest tongue in Guyana. The vice chairman for that region um, is a part of Wind. That's where they have a rally tonight. I'm not sure of the turnout there yet. I haven't seen anything, but so they have Wind encompasses the people from all
All
of the
over.
political parties,
Wow.
and they
Wow.
are eating into the PPP. They are eating into the PPP. I think they're they're eating into the PPP support at a greater level than they're doing with the APNU.
Mm, mm. Because at one stage, I was hearing the PPP supporters, they were getting very concerned about that. And I heard them saying, that he is in collusion with the APNU, with the leader of APNU. And so you hear that kind of talk that there's some, they've worked some kind of pact between them. Do you believe that?
Well, let me tell you something. The first thing, let me disabuse your listeners all around the Caribbean. Never believe anything the PPP says. Never. They're the most dangerous, mendacious people in the Western Hemisphere. You hear
Mm-hmm.
me? They would make up anything. They would go and put out something tonight and say Marcia was seen fighting with her husband because the husband caught her at Christchurch Bus Park with another man. That's the PPP. You can't believe anything they say. So I completely dismiss that. I don't believe anything the PPP says. I don't even think I don't even think the international community believes anything they say.
Mm, mm. What's happening with APNU? Because I mean, I don't see, I see them, and their rallies are also very big, but their presence on social media does not seem that strong. Is it that their presence on the ground is strong, or is it just, is it just that they're not into social media?
Well, I'm seeing them a lot on the ground. In terms
Okay,
of
so
social media, I think you might be correct in your assessment. I mean, they're on social media, but I think they seem to be more concentrating um, on the ground.
on the ground. So that might be their strategy, because that's why I asked you that question, because they've been they've been at this for a longer time, and they understand it's not just getting people excited, but it's getting them out to put that X, to vote. And I noticed that Win has a lot of young people. Will the young people actually go out to vote?
Well, about 54% of the electorate is below age 40, between 40 and 18.
Ah.
And the younger you get in terms of the electorate, is less likely they tend to vote. Now, young people, in my experience, both in Guyana and here as a political operative and a political strategist, vote based on inspiration. If you inspire them to vote, if
Hmm.
you give them a reason, or if they're campaigning for a cause, be it an end to domestic violence, be it more opportunities for young people, be it more jobs, be it um, more participation in the political sphere. Once they have an issue and once they are inspired, they go out and vote. And I think it's a misnomer to say that young people don't vote, because they vote if you give them a reason to and if they're inspired to vote. To me, I'm seeing in this election that young people on both sides have a reason to vote. The reason on the opposition side is that I don't think young people can bear 5 more years of victimization, marginalization, corruption,
Hmm.
the use, personal use of government resources, racism.
Yes.
I don't think the country, and lack of opportunity. I don't think young people in Guyana can stand 5 more years of that. And to me, that should motivate them. Now, which party is motivating them more on the opposition side? We'll know in 5 days. But I can see the APNU has a lot of young candidates.
Yes,
Um,
they do.
I hope that I hope that they will give them an opportunity to grow and blossom into national leaders. That has been one of the issues with the APNU. On the Win side, they have a lot of young people too, and the Win support base is very young. So it's left to be seen if these young people are going to turn out to vote, and I think they are.
I think they are. You were telling me about a very promising young man that the APNU has. Tell us a little bit about him.
I'm not sure what you. They have a lot.
They have a
I've
lot. Okay.
seen.
You were
I've
saying he was a
seen.
fantastic speaker.
Oh, that's probably Vince Roy Jordan. I think Vince Roy is a very good speaker, but they have some more. I've seen young Corbin. I've seen attorney at law Dexter Todd. I've seen attorney at law Ron Daniels. These are all young people now coming into the political process. Some of them I don't know, but I recognize some of them. Vince Roy is not that new to the party. Vince Roy, he's from Region 5. And I think he's the vice chairman of the party as well. But Vince Roy is a dynamic speaker. They have some more, like, I've said young Corbin, Dexter Todd. I'm sure they have some females. So, we have talents all around on the opposition side. And I think in terms of talent, um, on the opposition side, I'll give it to the APNU.
APNU.
Yeah.
Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful. But what role do you think? I know we said I have just a few more questions, and I know you have to run. But what role do you think race is playing in this elections? I know, just based on my reading, and you can correct me, that Mr. Mohammed Azadin Mohammed, he is Muslim, and I think the president and the leader of the ruling
The
party is
party,
Muslim.
PPP.
The PPP is Muslim as well, and I don't know of the others. What role does religion play in this?
I'm not sure